the MetLife Stadium, Aaron Rodgers making his debut for the New York Jets.
He is the winner today. His charity, the MAC Fund, will receive $50,000.
I think anytime you get heartbroken, it's really easy to write a song about that. So, I mean, today's going to be a good day. What do you think? Today could be a great day.
Y'all know Aaron Rodgers now plays for the New York Jets, but I bet you didn't know that he has the memory of an elephant and uses potato chips to help with his training. He's a lot more complex than just a touchdown machine, and I'm gonna tell you all about him. Let's start this song with Aaron's love for music, like mad love. He doesn't just listen to tunes. This man can strum a guitar like he's trying to serenade the moon. Ever had one of those wild nights where you're rocking out in your PJs, pretending to be a rock star with an air guitar in hand? We've all been there, but imagine just for a second, Rodgers walking into your room with a charming grin, holding a real guitar, ready to jam along with you. Back in 2009, a light bulb went off in his head. He thought, hey, with all this passion for music, why don't I dive in and set up my own music label? And you guessed it, the man took the plunge. He christened his brand new venture Suspended Sunrise Recordings. Talk about a stylish name, right? Through this incredibly hip side hustle, Rodgers has thrown a lifeline to upcoming music artists, giving them a platform to shine bright like a diamond. In 2011, he put his golden signature on a contract with the uber-talented indie pop rock band The Make. Now let me tell you about his crazy competitive streak. Yeah, we know he's a big deal on the football field. But believe it or not, his need to win isn't just limited to throwing touchdowns. Stories from his pals on the team give us some laugh-out-loud moments. Rodgers can list every touchdown and those not-so-great interceptions from his rookie days. Talk about having an elephant's memory. But wait, it gets funnier. Ever played cards with friends? Well, Rodgers once lost a simple card game in the locker room. And boy, he did not take it well. How not well, you ask? Let's just say he gave the silent treatment to his teammates for days. Yep, he's that guy, but hey, we can't blame him. That fire in his belly is the same thing that's got him winning playoff games and aiming for another Super Bowl. And remember, if you're playing any game with Rodgers, he's in it to win it, even if it's just go fish. But even if you're not playing games with him, you can listen to tales about him. Let's rewind a bit to 2005, the year of the big NFL draft. Picture this, Rodgers waiting eagerly for his name to be called, only to see the San Francisco 49ers skip right over him and pick Alex Smith. Ouch, right? It's like waiting to be picked for a team in gym class and watching someone else get chosen first. That kind of stuff sticks with you. Fast forward a few years and guess what? Rodgers still hasn't let it go. In a funny I told you so manner, he keeps poking fun at his old coach, Mike McCarthy, about it. Hey Mike, remember when you guys chose Alex over me? He's like that friend who never lets you forget the time you spilled juice on their favorite book, even if it happened a decade ago. But here's the twist. Rodgers didn't just sulk about it. He rolled up his sleeves and showed the world what they missed out on. Every touchdown, every win, it's like he's saying, hey 49ers, look what you could have had. You know what else he says? Rodgers has strong opinions on the NFL draft process. If you think he's the kind of guy who keeps his opinions to himself, you're in for a surprise. He's got some pretty strong feelings about the whole thing. Imagine the scene, staff running around with tape measures, stopwatches, and a bunch of charts obsessing over how tall a guy is or how fast he can run. Meanwhile, Rodgers is in the corner, rolling his eyes and thinking, seriously? In Rodgers' world, it's not just about how high you can jump or how speedy you are. What about the heart, the grit, the spirit, he'd say? He's all about those deep qualities that you just can't slap a number on. We're talking character, toughness, and leadership. The stuff that makes a real champ on and off the field. Every time you hear someone bragging about an athlete's measurable stats, you can almost hear Rodgers whispering, yeah, but can he lead a team when the chips are down? It's like he's saying, forget the ruler, where's your heart measuring stick? A quirky way to see things, but hey, Rodgers may just be onto something. How about his friendships? This guy knows a thing or two about sticking by his mates. Remember when his good buddy Ryan Braun got caught up in a steroid whirlwind? Most people would have run for the hills or hidden behind their big fancy shades. But not our Rodgers. He stood tall and proud, shouting, "I've got my buddy's back." And here's the zinger. He was so certain about Braun being on the up and up, he tossed his hard-earned cash into the ring. Can you picture that? Risking your money to say, "I trust you, pal"? If Rodgers likes you, he'll support you good times or bad. Talking about bad times, his bat throws are actually pretty limited. Among all players in NFL history, Rodgers tops the chart in touchdown to interception ratio. It's like he's the gourmet chef of touchdowns, always knowing the perfect seasoning for each play and knowing when not to throw those bad ones, which land into the hands of the other team. So next time you're glued to the screen watching him, remember, you're not just watching any old player, you're watching football royalty in action. What's his secret though? What does he know that everyone else doesn't? Well, hold on to your seats because it's not what you expect. No sir, it's potato chips. Imagine this, Rodgers strapping potato chips to his shoes right on his heels. Sounds silly, right? But here's the catch. If he doesn't stand right or balance perfectly, he hears a loud crunch under his foot. Well, that's one way to make sure he stays on his toes. While we munch on chips during the game, Rodgers uses them to become faster and sharper on the field. Who thought chips could be a secret training weapon? Rodgers did. Which brings me to my next fact about him. He's pretty darn smart. Not just school smart, but game show smart. He showed up on Celebrity Jeopardy facing an astronaut and some business hotshot. Guess what? He outsmarted them. And it wasn't just about knowing random facts. Rodgers showed he can think quick, just like when he's on the field. When he discussed his game strategies, it's like he's playing 4D chess while everyone else is playing checkers. So it's not just muscles with him, it's major brain power. But he wasn't always as famous as he is now. Rodgers had a rough start when it came to making a name for himself in the NFL. He was a superstar in high school football, but big college teams didn't seem to care. Can you believe it? It shook his belief in himself big time. For a moment, he even thought, maybe I should just wear a suit and be a lawyer. But he didn't give up. He kept every single no thanks letter from those colleges as fuel to his fire. And guess what? He showed them all and became the big NFL dreamer we know today. And lastly, although professional sports can be super intense, Rodgers knows how to lighten the mood. Among all the tough and gritty football players, here's Rodgers dressed up as Uncle Rico from the movie Napoleon Dynamite for Halloween. How's that for a laugh? This guy's not just about the game, he loves a good chuckle too. That's why fans don't just like him for his passes, but for his spirit too. The guy is definitely an unusual combination of talent, brains, and speed. Know any other fun facts about him? Let me know because he's definitely an interesting fella.